So when you got into public speaking,
Yep.
how did you manage to perceive yourself being in that kind of a situation, doing public speaking? I mean, you mentioned that you helped inspire people on a one-to-one basis, but public speaking is one of those things, and I'm sure there'll be people watching this who may be aspiring public speakers. They want to get into public speaking, but they just haven't moved to that level, or haven't broken those shackles of resistance, or limitations, as we call them. What would your advice be to them in terms of the perceived limitations and getting into public speaking?
Yeah, I mean, public speaking, so first of all, it was not natural for me to do public speaking. Because coming from an IT background, I'm more used to writing C# code and communicating with computers.
Techie stuff,
than communicating with people. So I remember, heading over to a Toastmasters meeting, if you're familiar, which is just a very small public speaking meetup.
Okay.
Where beginner speakers, they get in front of an audience and they utter a few words and then they sit back down. But for me, I remember that first experience being super scary.
Yeah.
So I literally got to the meeting and I sat in the back of the room, and it was one of those, I thought, if I sit at the back, they're not going to pick on me. And when you do that, those are the days when they pick on you.
There's times you get picked on, yeah.
So I got called to the front. I had to give literally a 1-minute talk.
Yeah.
Just to introduce myself.
Yeah.
And I remember rolling towards the stage thinking, what am I going to say, what am I going to say, Got to the stage and I don't even know what I said in the end. And then afterwards thinking, actually, do you know what? It wasn't that
bad, yeah.
I survived.
Yeah. You live to tell the tale,
exactly. And I just got, such a rush and such a buzz from it that I started doing it again and again. And then eventually that's when I combined that whole idea of, taking my inspiration to public speaking and trying to reach wider audiences.
You did your TED Talk. So you got to a stage where you've got a multinational kind of a platform there, isn't it? Because they spread you out everywhere, don't they, with their YouTube channel and everything.
Yeah,
they promote you. How did you get to get onto the TED Talk? How did you land that gig?
Yeah, and actually the TED Talk it's a funny story because it came quite early in my speaking career. So I was working with a coach.
How long ago was it?
It was in April.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're still quite new to that. Yeah.
I've only been speaking for about a year or so.
Wow.
But it just feels like I've done a lot in a short space of time.
Yeah, well, you have. Yeah, you have.
Yeah, so, and I've been fortunate. But with the TED Talk, I was working with a coach, and he was like, so what's your sort of 5-year goal with speaking? As I was starting out.
Yeah.
And I said, I'd really like to have done a TED Talk in the next 5 years. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, but what's actually stopping you from doing it now?
Yeah.
And I didn't really have a good answer.
Yeah.
So he said, why don't you check out what the process is for applying and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then, take it from there.
Yeah.
So I checked it. I went on the website. There's literally TEDx website and application form.
Yeah.
And I just filled out the application form.
Brilliant.
And I thought nothing of it.
Brilliant.
So I applied to a few events because you apply by region.
Okay.
Yep. So you choose your region, but I just did multiple. I think I sent about 20 applications.
Oh, wow.
in total.
Okay.
And then I just left it and forgot about it for a few weeks. And then I got an email back from one of the regions saying, hey, are you still interested?
Wow.
And now my heart was beating, right? Because I didn't this was like a 5-year goal for me.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be on the TED platform.
Yeah.
So soon, am I ready?
Yeah.
I had all these limiting beliefs, like, am I going to be good enough?
Brilliant.
But, eventually I did it, and it's been so well received. And it just shows the power of stepping out of your comfort zone as well, and not waiting to have all your ducks lined up in a row, which I think a lot of people do. And then, that perfect moment, sometimes it never comes.
It never comes, yeah.